A very good evening to everyone. Welcome to the webinar on TCS NQT, a new paradigm for corporate recruitment of top talent. We will have the webinar for 1 hour, out of which we will have a Q&A session towards the end, and it will be about for 20 minutes. You can post your questions with your name and company name in the chat window, and we will take it up during the Q&A session. All the participants will be on mute. So today we have Mr. Manivanan Ranganathan, who is the Program Director for TCS NQT. He is currently driving the TCS National Qualifier Test initiative for TCS Iron Business Unit, and he has rich experience in IT sector with more than 28 years of experience, out of which the last 24 years are with TCS. He played a key role in setting up the automation platforms for 100 plus educational institutions across India. Mani has also handled delivery, client relationship management, and business development for many TCS insurance clients in US and India. So welcome, Mani. Over to you now.
Thank you, Himshabra. Hope you're able to hear me.
Yes, Mani. Loud and clear.
Okay. A very warm and a good evening to all of you on a Friday evening. Thank you for joining. I have seen about 50 plus when I checked last time. We will spend about 40 minutes or so to talk about what TCS ION is doing in the space of corporate recruitment, a new paradigm shift we are creating in the way fresher hiring is happening in the country. Right? So if you look at it, what is that we have done? Right? We have created a pre-certified pool of about 4.2 lakh people. Right? They are all freshers aspiring to join in a corporate like yours. And many of you who have joined today are HR heads, recruitment heads or CHROs who are also doing fresher hiring for your requirements. And this hiring comes at a cost and maybe takes a bit of time to find the right talent for you. Is there a way we can work together at absolutely no cost to you? And answer is yes, we can. And that is what we're going to do today. Right? We will figure out what is that we are doing and how can you be part of that initiative and get benefits at no cost to you. Let us understand what is TCS National Qualifier Test. It is a national level assessment that we are doing for freshers across India to assess them on different competencies. Most corporates look for a cognitive ability when they hire. Right? It's like a foundation or a fundamental for any job role, any industry. What a typical company looks for is some sort of a cognitive ability in the areas of verbal, numerical, and reasoning. And also an attitudinal alignment, which is nothing but a psychometric assessment in terms of their fitment for a particular job. The kind of personality traits one carries, is it fit for a job? This is like foundation. And that forms the core NQT score for a candidate. We also realize that there is a bit of a disconnect sometimes in terms of the student's ability related to skills with respect to the industry. So that is something we are trying to bridge a gap so that from the industry when you're hiring, is there additional insight available on the individual, on their industry and subject knowledge? So what is industry knowledge? This is a test done to assess certain foundational concept understanding in a student. Typically like maybe the regulations, the segments, the typical processes followed within the industry, what challenges are faced. Right? So more of an initial understanding of how that particular industry operates so that when someone comes and joins you, they are not completely unaware of what you're doing. So that is an industry insight like an IT, information technology, or a retail, or a banking, pharma, manufacturing, automobile, in those areas, let's say. Right? Subject specialization is an assessment on hands-on skill on some specific areas. Right? These areas could be functional or technical, like a machine learning, a data science, or Internet of Things, or artificial intelligence. Or it could be role-based, maybe an accountant, front office clerk, a data entry operator, insurance agent. right? It could be role-based as well. Now, what it does is, does the candidate have a required skill in that particular area, right? So if you look at it, a candidate wanting to join a corporate could choose an industry, could choose certain areas of specialization, and certify themselves on a cognitive ability, psychometric ability, industry NQT for that industry that they chose, and 3-4 areas of specialization, which we believe will give a very good view of the person's ability for the corporate to make a decision on. Because you're a fresher, sometimes you're not quite sure on what basis I could select them, right? So we had spoken to 50 plus corporates when we launched this in October, and almost all of them were unanimous in telling that there is some amount of cognitive testing they do. And our intent is, rather than multiple corporates doing this test, can we do one test and maybe use this score, the candidates uses this score to apply to any corporate. Every corporate need not test the candidate again and again for the same skill. Maybe as a candidate, they get certified once, get a score once, and using that, they go on, apply to multiple corporates. That's our vision. Who can apply? Anyone who is a undergraduate or a postgraduate or a diploma. Basically, a graduate can apply. Someone who is studying in the final, pre-final year can apply. And we are focusing this predominantly on freshers because that is where the hunger is, that is where the need is. And we're also looking at this more like a score kind of an exam, not a pass-fail kind of an exam. And the candidates have an ability to keep improving their score every quarter. Our plan is to do this every quarter. There is a cost involved in doing this exercise, and we want students to pay for it so that there is seriousness when they take these exams. They prepare well, they get a good score, and they get a job. The score itself, what the candidate takes, is valid for 2 years, and there is no negative marking. And the exams were done in a remote assessment and in-center model in October, but we are making it, now things are improving. We are making it a completely in-center model going forward. Now, what did we do in October? The first such exam was conducted in October. That had predominantly NQT, which is the cognitive testing, and it had a programming test as well as a subject NQT. That is what we did in October. We are doing the next NQT coming February, and we are adding more variants to it. A psychometric component like I talked about. Then we are creating an industry NQT for information technology. We are doing a subject NQT for basic computer skills because we realize that almost every industry, every job role needs a certain computer knowledge from the candidate, and having a score in that signifies the level of understanding they have in this area. Again, accountant is something that we picked up from what is there in demand. And digital marketing is one area we're looking at, maybe doing it for the next quarter, which is likely to be May 2021. Right? If you look at it, the whole plan is to look at different industries where fresher hiring is in demand, look at different job roles that are sought after by companies, and prepare the individuals in the required skills so that when corporates are looking to hire, they have enough number of pre-certified pool to choose from. A quick peek into what we are doing as part of the cognitive testing. As I said, it tests on reasoning ability, verbal ability, and numerical ability. It's a 2-hour paper, and it covers the basic thing that an individual is required to possess to work in a corporate. It is not very advanced, but someone having a good score on numerical, for example, could be a good fit for a role that is number driven, like an accountant role. Maybe someone who's good in a verbal ability, high score, maybe is a strong candidate for some sort of a customer-facing roles. So while there is a total score, there is an individual score as well that gives you some visibility into the individual strengths in that area. Now, how do we expect this to work? Right? We expect the students to write this test, and once they get a score, apply to a company using the NQT score they got. And based on their score that they've got, companies could evaluate and treat certain things as something relevant and fit for the role that they're hiring. Call them for an interview and select. The thing that we're expecting is that over a period of time, can NQT score become the norm for cognitive ability and other skills so that the corporates need not spend time and effort in redoing the test again. Now, that is a quick view of what National Qualifier Test as a product is, what different variants we have got, and how students can use it. Now let's look at how you as corporate teams participate in this initiative. Like I said, a candidate gets a score, applies to you. Now as a corporate, you can trust that score and say, fine, I trust that, and take the candidate forward for an interview. Or you could say that, no, I need to verify this, right? And that is the first thing we are doing. We have created a portal where you can go and put the NQT registration number and date of birth of the candidate and check if the score they're claiming to have is the correct and valid score. And this is completely free. And we're also adding additional service on top of this, that not only in terms of verifying the score, if you're wanting to hire, we have created a job listing platform that allows you to post the jobs in terms of different job roles, location-wise, count-wise, maybe certain validity period, certain prerequisites that you're looking for in terms of degree or certification, eligibility criteria, all that the portal allows you to define. Then once you do that, then candidates can apply for that and you can hire them. So that is a job listing platform as a service. Right? There are two services. One is a score validation service and a job listing service. Now, as I said, both the services are free for you. Why are we doing it free? Because we are charging the student. We just want to make sure that the students pays for it, because that will bring seriousness in getting a job. Once they certify themselves, this certified pool, we are offering it to corporates like you who are wanting to hire them. Now, how do I go about it? How do you go about it as a corporate? There is a simple one-page registration portal. I will quickly show you towards the end of this webinar. It's a very simple one-page form. You register yourself and you can start using this for free. Right? Now, they also give an option there in case you are one of those corporates wanting to get more mileage out of this. You can, if you're willing to share your logo, then we can add that logo in the product page so that the students know that you are one of the corporates that are hiring. So which means that they can apply to you and they can apply to you to your jobs in job listing portal as well. On top of this, if you're willing to share your logo, we're also allowing you to download and verify score in bulk as a value add. And like as I said, the third option is not only in terms of sharing, you can also post jobs and hire candidates who are pre-qualified with an NQT score. If you're one of those companies, like I said, just using the job listing portal, you're not using the job listing portal, you're just verifying the score, right? Then how does it work? Candidate applies to you with a score. You can shortlist them. And if you want to verify, go to the portal, conduct interview. Like I said, it's a simple process. And one of the things we are requesting you is that once you start using this and you believe this adds value to the recruitment process, maybe you can add this NQT score as part of your data collection. Like the way you ask for a 10th or a 12th or a degree certificate performance, we ask for an NQT score as an indicator so that that score can give you a view of the candidate's ability. In case you are one of the companies that have participated in the job listing portal, then like I said, you register to the portal, and then the candidates who are meeting your eligibility criteria, they will be allowed to apply to those specific jobs. The portal also allows you certain recommendations based on your job posting who are likely to fit this profile that you talked about. So it gives you recommendations as well. Then based on the applications that the candidates have done, the portal allows you to shortlist out of 100 candidates who applied. Maybe you shortlist 15 of them, and then you can do a video interview. The platform allows you to conduct a video interview as well. Or if you prefer an in-person interview, you can go ahead and do that as well. Right? And then you can do subsequent selection process, whatever you like to do, and then release offer letter. And for this, again, there is a simple registration process to use the portal. And post-registration, you can start posting the jobs in a self-service model. There is no additional work required. It's like register, download the job posting template, upload the jobs. Then once the candidates apply to your jobs, you can start seeing the candidates and you can start selecting them. And we'll try and do some more webinars on this portal so that there is a bit more comfort for you to use this. We'll also create some training videos on how to use this platform. Right? The portal itself is in the final stages of testing, expected to go live in about a week's time. And let me summarize it one more time. As a corporate, what is it you can do to be part of this initiative? You can just indicate interest. And by doing that, you say that, yeah, I like this concept. I don't mind hiring based on TCS NQT scores. And just by filling up that simple registration page I talked about, you can start using the portal for verifying scores. No contract, no other obligation, nothing. And again, just because you showed interest doesn't mean that you have to hire only based on NQT. It can be an additional validation, can be an additional view of the candidate's ability. Maybe you try for a couple of cycles, couple of months, and see if a candidate with a good NQT score is really helping you make the selection quicker, is able to perform the job better. You can use all those indications and then use this NQT score better as well. But we believe the way we have created this test as a standardized test, we believe the score is a very good indication of the cognitive ability. The second level is, as I said, you can share your logo and become one of the brands, so get visibility as part of our job listing portal and as part of our NQT product page itself. And you can also select candidates for free, become a job listing partner and select candidates for free. Now, these are a couple of links. I'll come back and show this towards the end. Like I said, we did the first exam in October, right? I thought I'll share some insights to you so that you know what is the kind of candidate pool that we have created so far, right? This is a quick view of some of the colleges from which the students participated, right? Close to 4.2 lakh candidates wrote this exam in October, right? You see some of the top colleges here as well, right? Shastra, SRM, VIT, LPU, right? Anna University, Geetham. And you look at the kind of degree people have participated. Predominantly it is BTech heavy, but you also see a lot of other degrees like an MCA or a BCA or MSc. Our intent is to make this more inclusive. We really want to go after non-engineering, non-technology profiles as well. So subsequent ones, the ones we do in February, for example, we are inviting a lot of BSc graduates to participate, right? And we really want to look at where the job demand is and create an avenue for the students to get recognized, to get visibility, so that our mobilization is also towards such profile of candidates. Not only in terms of engineering and IT related profiles, but look at other degrees and other job roles as well. You also see a predominant percentage of candidates in 2021 pass out, which means that they'll be ready for selection in about 4-5 months time, right? But there is also about 30% of candidates who are outside this, who are already have already completed the degree and are available for hiring. So depending on when your requirement is, if your requirement is immediate and for this quarter, you can go for this 30% pool that is available. Or if that is something you want to hire and make them join you towards maybe an April-May time frame or even subsequent quarter, then you can look at the 2021 pass out as well. But like I said, our interest is to go after where there is demand. So if you find that there is more immediate hiring, we do want to mobilize more candidates who are who have completed their graduation in 2019 or 20. The next important thing to look at is from a tier perspective. We look at in terms of the cities these candidates belong to. Like I said, we do not, or we did not want to just focus on tier 1 cities. Maybe in all fairness, tier 1 colleges and students do have a lot of other avenues, right? There is a walk-ins by the corporates. They do have a lot of avenues to get themselves visible and get a job. So we really want to look at how to bring in the talent that is out there in other cities that are not having an opportunity to be heard, opportunity to be selected. So we really wanted to be going after other cities as well. So you see a good mix of tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities here from a candidate profile perspective, which also means that if you're trying to set up a shop or set up a unit in a non-metro kind of an area and you're looking for talent there, we are likely to have people from that place because we've got a spread out audience, a spread out candidate base, right? And again, from a specialization perspective, you see that there is a good variation across different disciplines. And again, from a city perspective, while maybe Hyderabad, Chennai and Pune are sort of at the top, there are still, I have not listed all of them, but there is at least 1,000+ candidates almost in many cities across India. So there is a wider pool of people available for you to choose from. And what does this demographic mean to you, right? So October itself has given us a certified pool of 4.2 lakh. And every quarter, like I said, we are doing one in February, next one in May. We are going to continue to add to this pool, which means that there is going to be tons of pre-certified candidates available for you to hire for. If you're interested in a fresher hiring, this is something that you really want to be part of. Diversity in terms of degrees and disciplines for your different job roles. If you're looking for an engineering hire or a BSc, BCom, BA kind of job eligibility based roles, you can look at those as well because there is a diversity in the degrees that we have the candidate pool. Like I said, the wider participation from colleges and cities gives you a pan-India reach for your needs. And as I said, mix of graduates with who are going to complete this completed, it gives an option to hire candidates for your immediate requirements as well. Now, having looked at the kind of candidate pool we have got, why should it be of interest to you? Right? These are some differentiators you can look at. While there are other means of hiring for you, other means of certifying candidates maybe, we believe as TCS NQT, this is what we have brought to the table, and we believe this will add significant advantage to you. The test itself is a standardized and secure and reliable test. Right? Coming from an organization like TCS and Tata, we put tremendous importance and effort in making sure that the test is conducted in a free and secure manner and this reflect truly what the individual deserves. And TCS has the ability to mobilize pan-India in terms of our presence across multiple cities, the way we have created our LISP, that is our partner infrastructure for our assessments across India. We have 670 cities presence and 6,800 exam centers. That means that there is a wider set of colleges that we have as partners, and they can help us mobilize candidates in those cities. Right? Ability to mobilize candidate across India is quite high. And like I said, a diverse pool of candidates to choose from. The assessment itself, like I said, for conducting a secure assessment, we are doing this as an in-center exam going forward. And we have an ability to do this exam across 670 cities and 6,800 exam centers. What this means is that we are likely to attract talent across entire India, not just the metros. And like I explained at the initial part of my discussion, we are focusing not just in terms of a cognitive or a psychometric, but additional industry and subject relevant to the industry, so that there is a broader view of someone's ability to perform on a job, and rather than just going by a degree mark or some additional test we do. We also are looking at adding more variance based on specific demands coming from the industry and corporates like you. So over a period of time, what I showed as maybe 6 or 7 is likely to become 50 or 100. So that for any particular industry, there are a set of about 8 to 10 skills someone could get assessed on, which are very relevant for the job roles and demand. And that helps the corporate as well, because they're able to identify someone with that required skill set and hire them quickly. the skills that the subject NQT that I talked about also have a skill part to it. It's not just theoretical assessment. There is a hands-on skill assessment as well, so that there is a practical ability measurement that is being done. And the last one, currently we have a pool of 4 lakh plus candidates for you to choose from, and it's only going to continue to grow from here. This is my last slide. With all the things that I talked about, what are your benefits? It is going to increase your reach, like I talked about. It is going to reduce your effort to hire because you don't have to do a test again, maybe. And the score gives an all-round view of the candidate's ability. Because they have some awareness of the industry and the subject, maybe a deployment in the job can be faster. The training time could be lower. We're also looking at how we can keep ahead of what is happening in the industry through an involvement with the colleges on working with them on defining the curriculum so that the content they're learning itself is more tuned to the industry demand. And we will also create more subject variants on those so that when something is in demand, there is already a pre-developed, pre-certified pool available for you. And you're not actually spending a lot of your money in developing the talent for you to work on. I will stop here. Maybe about, or rather, let me show you a couple of things before we start the Q&A. I told you that we have a product page, right? So,
Mani, before you walk them through the corporate page, we can make an announcement that the poll questions are open and they can give their respective answers to that.
Sure, definitely. In fact, I'll just add something to that, Shubhra. There is a simple survey poll we are doing. If you can just respond to that, it will give us some more insight into your level of interest. But may I also request you maybe to put in chat your single most challenge that you face in fresher hiring. What is your important or other significant challenge that you face when you're hiring freshers today? Because as a company, we believe there are things we can do to help you. So if you can just type one challenge that you face most in fresher hiring, you just put that in the chat window. Apart from this quick poll that Shubhra has put in, just see if you can put that in the chat window as well, so that will help us figure out a way to help you. So while you're doing the poll, I think the poll itself will be open for 10 minutes. I'll quickly show you what we have done as part of a national qualifier test. Right? This is the page the student sees. This is the public page. This is the URL. The URL will be there. A short URL is there on the PPT. Again, I can show it to you. Right now, the registration is closed for the February exam. We're going to start it next week. And if you come to this page, there is a register now button here, right? And that is what I'm going to show you next. And this page talks about pretty much a summary of all the things I talked about in terms of different NQT variants that we do, who can apply, and some of the brands that have already acknowledged this NQT and they have started hiring based on this, right? And the structure that we have created for the cognitive part, and why does it matter? TCS National Qualifier Test, why it matters for a student in terms of their ability to improve their employability and get visibility, how they can go out with a dream job and help, and detailed set of frequently asked questions. Now, I will quickly show you the corporate page as well. If you are interested to be part of this initiative, all we are asking for is to fill up your personal details, your company details, and say that you would like to participate in this. That is all. That shows that you're willing to be part of this initiative. Now, this is minimum, right? With this, we can start validating scores in our portal, right? Now, in addition, if you want to look at it, like I said, if you share your logo, then you can also avail additional benefits in terms of bulk upload and download like you talked about. And you can also become a partner for job listing, where you can access the platform for free. Depending on your choice that you indicate here, we will be in touch with you in how to create certain IDs for your HR team. Right? Basically, these are administrator IDs. For every corporate, we will allow maybe 3-4 IDs so that you can log into the job listing portal yourself, post those IDs, shortlist candidates, select them. Right? All those you can do yourself. This flags indicate that I can connect with you for these discussions later. But these are optional, like I said. Even this, just filling this and saying that you would like to participate in this initiative is an indication that you are keen to work with us on this. And anytime you can join here, and if you see benefits in these, you can take up this later as well. It is not that you have to decision on day one, but if you believe that this can be of value, you can do it later as well. But one of the things that I was looking at is that today, most of you have requirements and you are using some job portal or the other, and they have their own advantages, but they also come at a cost, right? So we wanted to find out if I could give all those advantages to you. In addition, I give a pre-certified pool of candidates and I give this at a no cost to you. Why will you say no? That's what we were thinking in our mind. So we really wanted to make this a very, very useful platform for you to simplify your fresher hiring. And like I said, sometimes there is always a challenge of do I get more corporates first? Do I get more students first? Because you need more students for you to start hiring. And students need more jobs for them to be part of this portal. However, we have done the first step. We have done the October exam. We have created a large pool of 4 lakh plus certified students. And they are available for you to hire. And once as I said, the job listing portal goes live in about a week's time, we will onboard all these 4 lakh students as part of this platform. Once you register to the job listing portal and start posting jobs, then these jobs will be visible to the students. They can apply, you can shortlist and hire. There is no catch here. As I said, we just wanted to, as a business model, we just wanted to make it free for you and chargeable to students. That is how simple it is, and I'm summarizing that as a business model. I will go back to the deck, and this is a short URL for the registration page that I showed you. So we can start taking some questions. If there are any questions.
Yes, Mani, thank you so much. Thanks for the insights and the information about TCS NQT. That was really useful. That will be useful, I think, to the corporates as well. So a couple of questions that have come. So I will start with the first question. Basically, one of the participants, Anamika Varun, wants to know that how do I reach out to tier 2 or tier 3 city candidates?
See, you don't have to reach out to anyone. You register yourself as a corporate, post your jobs will be visible to the candidates. And when they see you, they can apply to your job. And you also have an ability for you to see based on, supposing you have indicated, I'm just giving an example, let's say Coimbatore, right? You said that I want candidates only from Coimbatore location, right? Because the job opening is there. Then the platform tells you that these are the candidates who are having the required degree, required location that you're asking for, and show that as part of a shortlisting for you or preferred candidates list. So in some sense, the platform matches your location and can show you, rather than you targeting a set of going after a pool of candidates yourself. I hope I answered that question.
Sure, Mani, thank you. The next question is from Mr. Debashri Rath. He is from PwC. He says that most engineering students in their penultimate graduation year start preparing for CAT, other such competitive examinations, and NQT is based on similar structure. So he says that I anticipate most students to be clustered around the middle or median scores as candidates are familiar with the test structure due to CAT preparation. It would be very difficult for corporates to select suitable candidates as the score differentials would be narrow. Can we have a business simulation section?
See, our interest is not to rank. See, CAT actually does that, right? CAT actually does an assessment, ranks, and based on that selects candidates for the colleges, right? Our intent is not to rank. Maybe you're right. You're saying that if someone is preparing for CAT, they are likely to score high. But that is okay because it's an indication of the cognitive ability. All we are measuring is what is their cognitive ability to perform in a role in a corporate. If that means that someone preparing for CAT can score higher, so be it, because that shows that their cognitive ability is higher and then they can get hired in a company. So it is not about testing them on something they do not know. If you look at it, right, in fact, we have gone ahead and created a sample test. Even today, in that the product page that I talked about, there is a sample test link that will be there that will show the set of questions about I think about 80 questions. Similar sample paper will be there. So in a typical cognitive section, there are only set of 10-20 topics that you will test. So it's again not about something new. It is not about time pressure. It is about, do they have the knowledge? Simple as that. For a job, if you believe that they have the knowledge, hire them. For some other job, maybe like a data entry operator, maybe you believe that I do not need a 90% cognitive ability. Maybe I'm okay with the 50% as well. Yeah, you go and hire someone with a 50% score. So based on a combination of your location, salary level, and your job role, you decide what range is acceptable to you. As I said, there is nothing like a good score or a bad score. It is all contextual for a job role, and we are only assessing them on who they are or what their level of knowledge is. And absolutely right. If someone prepares for CAT, they will score well here. And our intent is not to make it hard. Just because someone can prepare and score high, we don't want to make it different. Like you made other comment about some. What is the second part of the question, Himshubra?
Yes, they say he says that I anticipate most students will be clustered around the middle or median scores as candidates are familiar with the test structure due to the CAT preparation, and it is very difficult for corporates to select suitable candidates as the score differentials would be narrow. So, can we have a business simulation section?
That's what I was looking for. Business simulation, right? Whatever you are calling as business simulation is what we are calling it as industry NQT and subject NQT. Industry NQT tests candidates on their industry awareness, right? Now, we also have to realize that they are freshers. They have not worked in a particular industry for 5 years, 10 years to call themselves as a domain expert. So we are only going to talk about or test on their basic awareness and not on a rich domain understanding. However, we also added the subject NQT component, right? Which is for a specific subject. Like you said, if supposing someone is hiring a data scientist, I will have a data sciences subject NQT. Then you hire someone who scores well there. You're looking for a artificial intelligence related job. You will have an NQT based on that. You hire for that. So the business context you're looking for is going to come from industry NQT and subject NQT and not from the cognitive part. Cognitive part is generic and that is like a base minimum that anyone needs. Anyone can always specialize in an industry or a subject. And that is the business context we are adding.
Right, Mani. So next question is that we have seen students facing issue during programming section always. Is it resolved?
Yes, it is resolved.
Okay, the next question is, does the portal track details of number of interviews done by the candidate or the offers received and make the data available to any other corporates shortlisting the candidate?
I don't know if it is part of the platform. But again, I do not know what will be the interest in that, right? If it is meant to be more like a deterrent, right? If someone has attempted multiple times and not gone ahead, if you do not want this, that is the intent, we'll have to look at it. If that becomes a problem where some candidates constantly attend and do not get accepted, vice versa, I don't know. If you feel that they are more sought after candidates, I do not know. But we can take it as a feedback and see if that can be made available. I do not know right off on top of the mind whether that is available today. Most likely no, but we'll take that as a feedback and see if we can provide such information to the corporates.
Sure, Mani. One of the questions is, when will the registration for the next NQT open?
We are expecting to start in about a week's time.
And can we use the test for employees? What would it cost?
See, if you're going to use it for employees, the whole purpose is lost. But it's up to you. Today, maybe this February session is also going to be free. But subsequent ones, you're going to make it chargeable for the student, right? So if you're going to pay for it and get your employees certified, it's okay. I don't have a problem.
Yeah, Mani. Okay. Another question is, like, how can we post our jobs on your job portal? And second part of it is, and when can we start posting them?
Yeah. So when can we start posting them? As I said, we are in the final round of testing. Give us another week's time. Today is 8th, right? By about latest by 18th. Let me take 10 days, 7 to 10 days max. Latest by 18th. Even before that I said, but latest by 18th, the portal should be live. Once that is live, if you have registered to the registration page I talked about, right, then we'll reach out to you in terms of the next step, where we will create certain IDs for you, and we'll help you with some videos on how you can use this platform for upload the jobs and use it. And like I said, we will do one more webinar where we'll focus only on the platform for people who are part of the platform in terms of how to register, how to post jobs, how to select, like a training. We will do a training session for them on the platform.
Okay.
But I would say the immediate action will be that if you're interested, go ahead and the URL that you see here, go ahead and register to this. In fact, Himshubra, you should post this URL in the chat window.
Yes, I've done that, Mani.
So it is already part of the chat window. Go and register yourself there and say that you're interested in a job listing portal. Right? As and when the portal comes live, as I said, in about 10 days time, we will reach out to you. We will have one training session. We will onboard you. We will make sure that you're comfortable in using the platform. That is on us.
So one of the questions asked is, how much the test will cost to the student?
We are still working out the pricing in May.
Okay. The next is, how will signing up with you will benefit me as a corporate?
Okay, let me put it this way. As a corporate, if you're doing fresher hiring today, right, there are 2-3 ways you could do. One is you are having your own test. You call about 1,000 candidates on a day. You do your own screening test, and then you call 100 for interview, and let's say you select 50. Or you have 1,000 openings. You go to any of the job portals. You put your job. Candidates come and apply. There again, you download tons of resumes. Again, you figure out who fits you. Then you select 50 candidates from that. Or third option, you go to a HR company that is doing recruitment as a service. You tell them I need 50 candidates. Then they do the hiring. So all 3 options, doing your own test, going through a job portal, or going through a HR recruiting company, is going to cost you. All I am saying is that on top of a candidate who is not certified, I am giving a certified candidate who actually, by looking at their score, you have a peek into their ability in terms of cognitive, industry, and subject. You make a judgment in terms of the fitment for the role. For example, let us say you're hiring a developer and you say that I need minimum of 80% plus NQT. You say that as your eligibility score. I need someone 80% plus to apply for this job. Then the portal will show you only people 80% plus, which means that rather than looking at a random list of 1,000, you're looking at a list of 200 maybe who are 80% plus. And from that 200, selecting 50 is going to be much easier than selecting out of 1,000. So the pre-certified pool is the first advantage, with an ability to filter based on criteria that you are allowed to set. Number two, the platform itself is a self-service platform. You register, you post jobs, you shortlist, you select, you do a video interview and hire. So it gives an additional ability for you to look at the candidate data in detail and all the interactions like I talked about, right? Application, selection, shortlisting, video interview, final offer letter. All these interactions happen through this portal so that the selection becomes easy for you. Our intent is to give a platform where you can post jobs, view candidates, and hire in an easy to consume manner. That is why you should be interested in this offering.
Right, Mani. So next question says that for degrees like MSc or as planned in future for BSc, would you be open to all disciplines or any specific specialization, example agriculture, horticulture, biotech, etc.?
So I'll repeat one more time. Our fundamental principle is inclusion, not exclusion, which means that the only criteria I'm saying is degree. I'm not even restricted on what degree. I'm not restricted on what discipline, which means that any degree, any graduate, any discipline can apply. Because what we want to do is, if someone has done a BA Tamil, for example, maybe there is a job for him or her somewhere. Why should I exclude them from getting themselves certified and look out for a job? And that is the whole point of this paradigm shift I talked about, right? Giving eyes and ears to people who have not been heard of earlier. Bring them into the mainstream, bring them into the platform where corporates like you could give them an opportunity. If it could be part of your regular hiring, it could be part of your other social initiatives based hiring, whatever allows you to do that, right? You should do that, right? The whole point is to bring more and more such left out pool of people, right? Today, most portals, as I said, are IT heavy and engineering heavy. We want to really change that, bring more and more candidates into the mix, make them take the test. And we want to, once I have those tests completed and I have those candidate pool, then I want to go and talk to corporates who are hiring them saying that I've got about 20,000 students who are BA Tamil certified. Will you be interested in hiring them? Because if they have a requirement for them, why will they not come to my portal? Earlier, aggregating that 20,000, certifying them, and creating a place for them to go after was not there. And that is what I'm doing now. I'm mobilizing, I'm assessing, and I'm creating an opportunity for them to apply for a job and get it. So I'm bringing everything together, from mobilization to certification to job listing to hiring. And we will take an active part in ensuring that we reach out to corporates proactively. Once I have the data, if I find that people are not getting job, then I will find out why these people are not getting a job and find out corporates that can hire them. As I said, there are corporates who just need a warm body. Cognitive skill is maybe immaterial to them on some certain job roles. Maybe salary could be a compromise, location could be a compromise, and that is what the candidate has to be willing to settle for. So somewhere you got to find a balance in that, and that is what we will do as a platform player in between. How do we understand the candidate demographic data? How do we understand the job data? How do we sync up both so that both stakeholders benefit out of this exercise?
Thanks, Mani. Thanks for that. I think this is somewhat similar. I will just say the question. One of the question is they are mostly hiring for programming, but what about others? Like for a sales employee, if he is interested, then how the companies will hire for sales and when they will hire?
Exactly. Sales is something that we have seen as one of the sought after skills. We will be creating those as part of our May exam. We just needed some more time to work on those assessment test patterns and questions. So we have started that exercise. So maybe in May session, we'll have a sales test as well done.
Next question is, Mani, is the exam online?
No. We did this exam, October exam online as well. But we realized that there are a lot of challenges candidates were facing with respect to the compute, right? In terms of their internet availability, power availability, and their own operating systems and web camera and things like that, right? So we had close to 7 lakh people registered, but only 4.5 took the exam. So we felt that that is creating a lot of work for us, and then it is just not resulting in a fruitful exam for the candidate. So we thought that, and that is one factor. Other factor is that sort of with vaccination coming in place and maybe with corona slightly under control, I would say, we just want to make it in center so that the candidate experience is better. And going forward, it will be in center only.
Okay.
Physical.
Right, Mani. So one question was like, how is it different from AMCAT or CoCubes?
Right. See, I like I said at the beginning, there are other certifying exams like AMCAT or CoCube that also certify on cognitive. We are trying to bring in more inclusivity. We are trying to bring in an industry and a subject expertise. That is one way to look at it. Other way to look at it is in terms of the test conduct itself, right? The way the test is being administered in a more secure manner, the way the question paper is being created as a standardized paper. For example, when we did this October exam, there were about 17 shifts, and we had to make sure that those 17 question papers are normalized from a candidate performance perspective, right? So we take care in ensuring that the final score that comes out is reflective of all these things. So it is the ability of us to conduct a much more secure and standardized test, right? And in an inclusive manner, with our ability to pull in candidates across India, right? For example, I talked about 4 lakh candidates across length and breadth of the country, and that is what we will continue to do, where our candidate pool, you will see the demographic, a wider demographic as a differentiator. It is not that we are heavy in the metros, but we really want to go after tier 3, tier 2, 3, 4 cities so that they get an opportunity to get hired. That will be a difference maybe in terms of the other competitors that you talked about. And the industry and subject part that I talked about, right? Our ability to identify the right set of subject variants and create a standardized test on those variants with a skill component as well. And again, for competition as well, to do this, to do something similar to this will not be difficult, but we have to look at what is our strength and play to it.
Mani, another question is, will there be a time limit for the job posting?
There will be a date, but I don't think we are limiting it as something like 1 week, 2 week visibility or something. It is not. So if you are posting a job today, if you set a 3 months visibility, for example, if you believe that this position is open for 3 months, make it available for 3 months. We are not restricted. There is no restriction on number of jobs. There is no restriction on time limit. The only thing is we want to be careful so that you don't post a job which becomes stale over a period of time, because you are not wanting to do update too often. You make a 1 year validity while the job itself is for 1 month. Then what happens after 1 month? The job will be open, candidate applies, and then you might say that it is no longer a valid record. So to that extent, you just have to be conscious, but I don't think we are restricting in terms of a very limited period. It is up to you to define the validity.
Right, Mani. Another question is, how about the visibility of the job posting among other companies? What if I do not get any applications? Will I still get the data of how many candidates viewed my job posting?
Right now, I think it is only applied, but we will find out if viewed is not there. We'll see if viewed also can be added as a metric. Right now, when the candidate applies, it is visible to you, but I do not know if they just viewed it. I don't know if it will come or not. I need to check that part. But shortlisting definitely comes, and in case it's not coming, as I said, we'll take that as a feedback. see, as a candidate, they also have an ability to, I think, something like a market for future. But again, I don't know whether. See, the thing is, there is a balance between respecting the student's privacy versus corporates need to hire, right? As a student, I just looked at your company. So should you start following me? Right. So somewhere we want to do that balance as well in terms of where if the job is appealing for a student, then he will apply, right? But definitely we'll go an extra mile and find out if at least we can give you some visibility in terms of profiles of people who have looked at your job or who are fitting your profile so that you have a chance to look at that. We will find a way to help you fulfill those jobs. But as I said, there are some tools already available. We'll continue to add some more tools so that the job fulfillment as a process becomes easy.
Okay. Another question is, will companies hire for sales different profile via TCS NQT? I think you have already answered this one.
Yes, we spoke about it. Right?
Yeah. So next one is, as a fresher, is that NQT score necessary to place through TCS NQT side, or can any student or any fresher can use that site to apply for the role without NQT score?
Where to apply to TCS? Is the question for applying to TCS?
No, it's general. The question doesn't say that to applying to TCS.
Okay. See, what we are telling is that TCS National Qualifier Test is a means of certifying a candidate. Right? So if I am a student, I necessarily do not have to take NQT. If I'm interested in a job in ICICI Bank, I can go and apply to ICICI Bank and ICICI Bank can hire me. But we are telling that if I write NQT, TCS NQT and get an NQT score, my ability to get hired goes up. So it is not a mandate, but if you do it, your ability to get hired goes up. And like I said to corporates, rather than looking at 1,000 random profiles, I look at 200, 80% plus NQT score candidates. If if corporates start asking for such score, then over a period of time, then TCS NQT score might become the common factor to get a job. It is not there today. That is what we want to be, because again, it is not about just as a business model. It's about making hiring easy for the corporates like you and getting a job easy for people across different degrees and cities and colleges.
Sure, Mani. I think we can take up the last question as we are running out of time. Will we be able to validate the NQT scores for free, and how we will get access to that?
Yes, you can validate it for free. Like I said, the only thing is we just need to know who you are. So you can register yourself there, and post that you will get in that registration form itself, you will get a tab where you can put the NQT number and score, NQT number and date of birth and verify.
Sure, Manish. So I think we can, all the questions almost have been answered. The few questions which might have been left, we can take it up later, or we can respond to them later. So thanks for your time, Mani. It will be really useful to the corporates to get an insight about what NQT is all about, and looking forward for them to onboard and sign up with us. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for participating today. I encourage each one of you to look at this registration page and be part of this initiative to transform the hiring process itself. Thank you.